Hello, 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 and good morning, everybody. All right. How is everybody this morning? Please smash that like button on your way in. Let everybody know that we are live. Give some shout outs here. Good morning, Emily. Rosie, good morning, good morning, good morning. Lady D, Doreen, hello, good morning, everybody. Okay, so they're just getting set up for the press conference. I will be bringing that live to you once it starts. I'm just keeping an eye everywhere here. So the latest that is out right now, yeah, I'm looking forward to the press conference too, because it's going to give us a lot more information. Did Keegan Klein rat somebody out? Did he give information in exchange for something? From what I understand, is this guy was not even being looked at. And what surprises me the most, you guys, is that like Richard Allen and his wife live not far from the Monhan 5 Mile High Bridge or whatever it's called there. She had to have seen that video, that little snippet of video that they had of him walking on that bridge and his voice down the hill. Don't tell me that she didn't know that that was her husband. The clothes, everything. Like, personally, when I was with my husband, I knew what his clothes looked like because I'm the one that cleaned them. I knew what he wore on the daily. I knew what jacket he had, what hat he had, how his stride of walk is, stuff like that. How could she not know that that was her husband? And then, like I showed in the last live, you guys, it was a picture of him. Let me pull that up again. It's a little bit before the presser is about to start, but let me pull that up. These images. I find them no problem when I'm not looking for them. Okay, so let me just share my screen here. Good morning, everybody. Summer, good morning. Saluha, good morning. Jill, good morning. Lightkeeper, Lady D. Okay, so let me just show my screen here. Because there's one picture. Hang on a second. Let me just find that picture. Okay, I'm just going to show you my whole screen, you guys. I'm not early. Oops. Wait a minute. Hang on a sec. Let's try that again. There we go. Sorry about that, you guys. Okay, so here are some of the pictures, right? Like, here he is right here. Like, you can't tell me that his wife did not know that that was him. The jacket, the hat, the pants, the way he walked. Like, even close up. Like, come on. You know what kind of clothes your husband wears. Especially, they lived, from what I hear, within a mile from this bridge. So there's no way that she didn't know that this was her husband when she seen them. Now, I'm looking for the photo. These are Avi and Libby. Just beautiful. The picture, I was like, there he is there. And it looks like he shaved his head. but there is a picture that is circulating of them sitting in a bar, and I showed it, I think, yesterday. I thought it was in here too. There's a picture of him and his wife and a friend in a bar. And there's a poster right here. Here it is. Look at this. They've blacked out his wife's face here, and there's another guy, I guess a friend of his, standing over here. If you see the full picture, they're in a bar having drinks, whatever. And there's a picture right here of who they were looking for, the sketch of who they believe was involved with Abby and Libby's deaths. Like, how cocky is that? There's also a photo, you guys, that is around also of Richard Allen's daughter sitting on this bridge a year later, like a year to the month later. In 2000, they were killed in 2017. This happened with Abby and Libby. 2018, he has a photo of his 16-year-old daughter sitting on this bridge. Like, how sick is that? You know what I mean? It's like, it's really sickening. What do you guys think? I think he constantly changed how he looked. Yeah. Good morning, Mountain Spoon Girl. Tosia Do. Hello. Good morning. I do believe that his hair could have been a lot longer when these crimes were committed. And then he started shaving his head. But like I said, don't mind me, you guys. It's really cold here this morning, so I've got my heater on, so you may hear that go on and off. I just know what my husband owned. I knew what he wore, you know, and if that was me, and like when this happened with Abby and Libby and they were looking for them and everything else, and then when these pictures finally came to light with his voice, absolutely I would have known right away that that was him, right? So we are waiting for the press conference to start. I've got the two screens up here where they're going to be showing it. As soon as it does start, I will bring it to you guys. We will be popping over there and we will be watching it. I'm really anxious to see what is going to be coming out in this. From what I heard, Dawn, he did help search. Lady D says he was so brazen thinking he wouldn't get caught. He was right there the whole time. Exactly. Yep, I would know immediately if that was my husband. And it's not like they were just, you know, a couple like dating or whatever, not knowing everything that he owns. They've been married for mega years, right? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Rosie says those girls are heroines for having the right mind to videotape them. Yep. I wonder if maybe involved in those two young girls murdered in Evansville. My gut says the Delphi dude is probably connected to the other. I'm sure that he is going to be connected to other cases. Like, this was really brazen, so I don't think this is his first rodeo. So what we know right now, you guys, I do have it up and I have my earpiece in. So when this starts, I will know and we will pop over to it and I will put it up on screen right away. So what we do know right now, you guys, before this press conference gets started, Police have confirmed that Richard Allen is not cooperating with their investigation into the murders after being taken into jail. Now, he was booked into the Carroll County Jail on Friday in connection with the Delphi murder investigation. And he was also moved to a state facility for his own safety. So they must know that, people are going to be out to get him. Yeah, and the way that thank you, Delana, for that. The clip of him in that strange gait, like how he walked and kind of like drug that right foot along, right leg around, like that is one thing. Never mind the clothes that he had on. And, if that was your husband, no matter, it wasn't the clearest photo, but if that's your husband of many, 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 many years, it's clear enough for you to know that that's him. Good morning, Sensible Crime. Nice to see you here. Nice to see you all here. Thank you for joining. The press conference will be starting probably within the next 15 minutes. Okay, so let me just see what else they're saying here. So in February 13th of 2017 is when this happened, okay? A year later in June of 2018 is when he took that picture of his 16-year-old daughter on that bridge. I want to get a copy of that photo and overlay it to see if where he took the picture or where that picture of his daughter was taken is the area where Abby and Libby were when he approached them. Like it's to me, that is just sickening. It's morbid and it's sickening for a year later to take a picture of your 16-year-old daughter on that bridge. And to me, it looks like almost the exact area where they got him following the girls, like where Abby and Libby were on that bridge when I believe it was Libby that took a picture of Abby. So I want to go over that. So maybe I'll do that live with you guys. I don't know yet, but I want to really go over all the photos that are out there to see. Oh, absolutely. I know I wouldn't. No, hell no. I'd turn that in right away. Yeah, and if anybody did know and protected him, they would be accessories after the fact, right? Thank you, Sensible Crime. I appreciate that. So it's been 5 years. It's been 5 years, you guys, and finally, these girls are going to start to get justice. There was also evidence that gave probable cause to search the property of Ron Logan. Now, Ron Logan is the one that owned the adjacent property, and the girls, I believe, were found on his property. I think his property butted right up against there. So, in that recording that they let us all hear about Down the Hill, that audio is originally 43 seconds and they only played a little fraction of that. So, I'm wondering if we're going to get more of that. I agree. My sister's love says, I completely agree. I've been married 22 years and know all of what my husband wears. There is no way. Yeah. And I mean, that picture was all over Delphi, all over. Okay, let me just go back over here and see. I'm just keeping an eye on where they're going to be holding the press conference, you guys, to make sure it hasn't started yet. We do have about between 5 and 10 minutes before they start. They were getting the room set up. I seen that happening, so and I'm just checking what is going on here in the okay. Because I'm over on Facebook too, so just seeing what they're saying over there. Okay, so let me just go back to chat here. Yes, I just showed that picture. If you scroll back a bit, if you rewind a bit, you will see I showed the picture where him and his wife and a friend were at a bar and there was the mugshot poster behind. Sorry, you guys. Just give me a second, please. Let me just get this so I don't got that feedback. Oops, jeez. Hang on a sec, you guys. Hang on a sec, you guys. Hang on a second, you guys. Let me just see here. Okay, we got a 2-minute warning here, you guys, so it's about to start. Let me just bring this up for you. Okay, so please let me know. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear it.
They're going to start on time, Rick. They have them on the wings, okay? They will start on time.
And they are starting on time, so. Yeah, I don't think that this is his first rodeo either, you guys. I'm really anxious to hear this. Thank you, everybody joining. Please smash that like button on your way in. Okay, you guys can hear it good. Okay.
Good morning. My name is Sergeant Jeremy Piers, Public Information Officer for the Indiana State Police Lafayette Post. I'd like to thank you all for being here and thank the Delphi United Methodist Church for allowing us to use their facility. This morning, we're going to provide an update on the investigation into the murders of Abigail Williams and Liberty German. Before we get started, I'm going to introduce to you our speakers, Superintendent of the Indiana State Police, Doug Carter, the Carroll County Sheriff, Tobe Lesenby, and the Carroll County Prosecutor, Nick McClelland. I'd like to remind everyone that this continues to be an active and ongoing investigation. At the conclusion of this press conference, we are going to answer a limited amount of questions out of respect to the investigation and the process that will follow today. We will not discuss evidence that is related to this investigation. On behalf of the Delphi Double Homicide Task Force, thank you all for your continued support. I would now like to introduce to you our first speaker, Superintendent of the Indiana State Police, Doug Carter.
Give me just a second here.
He is choked up, you guys.
Seldom do I have prepared remarks, but today is different because I do not want there to be any confusion or ambiguity with what I will say. Today is not a day to celebrate, but the arrest of Richard M. Allen of Delphi on 2 counts of murder is sure a major step in leading to the conclusion of this long-term and complex investigation.
So 2 counts of murder. He did it.
First, I'd like to speak directly to Anna, Mike, Becky, Kelsey, your extended families, along with the entire Delphi community that certainly has grown and now includes our nation and even many countries around the world. I am proud to report to you that today, actually last Friday, was the day. And an arrest has been made. Thanks to literally hundreds of media outlets that have been steadfast in reporting and keeping the memories of Abby and Libby front and center. Many of you in the room have developed relationships with me personally, and you know I always have a personal perspective, and today's no different. But from a very personal perspective, you all have provided inspiration and support, even while oftentimes frustrated with us and me. You continue to encourage the efforts, and you too believe that one day we would all be here participating and sharing this news. To the entire law enforcement community, which includes all local, state, and federal agencies, which are far too many to specifically mention today, thank you, thank you, thank you. We are going to continue a very methodical and committed approach to ensure that if any other person had any involvement in these murders in any way, that person or persons will be held accountable. Since the murders of Abby and Libby, 2,086 days ago, the daily investigative team has worked tirelessly and is certainly worthy of mention today. Specifically, Sheriff Linsonby, the Sheriff of Carroll County, Detectives Tony Liggett, Detective retired Kevin Hammond, former Delphi chief and now the prosecutor's investigator Steve Mullins, State Police First Sergeant Jerry Holman, Detectives Jay Harper, Dave Vito, and Brian Harshman, along with members of the United States Marshal Service, specifically Agent Jeremy Clinton and Agent Bill Colfers. With them today is Dan McLean, the U.S. Marshal, appointed U.S. Marshal. Our state police analyst, our scientist from many different disciplines within our laboratory division, Mrs. Kathy Shank, for your incredible dedication to detail and to so many others that I know I've missed. I really believe that Abby and Libby would be proud of you for standing strong, even in the face of immense pressure and perpetual criticism. Some of these individuals have postponed retirement, passed on promotional opportunity, have dedicated personal time away from their families, given up nights, weekends, and holidays, all while in the pursuit of accountability for Abby and Libby. I know that today's announcement will not diminish your resolve, and I hope you have found just a bit of peace in this most complicated world. This is really important. While I know you are all expecting final details today concerning this arrest, today is not that day. Today is not that day. This investigation is far from complete, and we will not jeopardize its integrity by releasing or discussing documents or information before the appropriate time. Prosecutor Nick McClellan, of course, will share additional information about what we can and cannot say, and also explain to you why the probable cause affidavit is temporarily sealed by the court and not available. And by the way, he has been a tremendous asset to this team. I'm yet again asking you for your patience and please your understanding while our system of due process works. Also remember that all persons arrested are presumed innocent. All persons arrested are presumed innocent. You all will have an innate desire to subjectively interpret and then report what you think. We in the law enforcement realm cannot, and you should never allow us to, talk about what we think concerning facts, but rather discuss and share at the right time what it is we know. The time will come when additional details can be released. But again, today is not that day. It's about Abby and Libby, their families, and this community, this nation, and even our planet. The prosecutor has been very clear with law enforcement about what his expectations are, about what can and cannot be released, shared, or discussed. So we will, of course, comply. If you choose to be critical of our silence, be critical of me, not the front line. These are the folks that have committed their entire lives to a successful conclusion. In other words, a guilty verdict. As we move to the next phase of this investigation, I will continue to offer all resources that the ISP has. It's not only the investigative team I anticipate growing, but also to Prosecutor McClellan as we prepare for the coming months. Again, Nick has been very resolute and very clear, and I'm most grateful for his leadership. And it's going to be really important as we move forward. Please continue offering tips that you would like to share. The many avenues to report will remain open and will be available to all. Please continue doing that. In closing, I stand before you in this church and very place where we held our first briefing nearly 6 years ago, and just hours after the murders of Abby and Libby. Right here. Pulling in today, I wasn't really sure what emotion I would experience. But peace came over me. And I didn't expect that to happen. And I hope all of you, with all the different responsibilities you have from around the planet today, have felt some of that as well. But remember, we're not done. I think what we all have experienced proves that together there's nothing we cannot do. But more importantly, giving of ourselves, all of us, giving of ourselves matters more than what we could ever receive. Abby and Libby, though in death, have had a profound effect on so many of us, on how we live, and as importantly, who we all should be. I would now like to introduce to you my friend and the Carroll County Sheriff, Tom Ledgeby, for his remarks. Sheriff.
I believe in a God of justice and righteousness. Today, I believe that same God has provided us with justice for Abby and Libby. As Sheriff of Carroll County, Indiana, I want to publicly and sincerely thank each individual who played a role in helping us during this 5.5-year investigation. Whether it was in an investigative capacity, providing tips, cards or letters of suggestions or encouragement, phone calls, and thousands of other countless ways of communicating. I earnestly thank those who prayed for this moment in time. We now move forward through the Indiana criminal justice system, allowing the system to provide its due diligence and process in providing that justice which is owed Abby and Libby, their families, and this community. Thank you.
Welcome, everybody. My name is Nicholas McClellan. I'm the Carroll County Prosecutor. And before we get started, I want to reiterate some of the things that Sheriff Lesenby and Superintendent Carter stated. I first want to thank both of them. They've been a great support to my office throughout this investigation. They've always been there for a phone call and always been willing to help a hand or a line of assistance to me and my office during this investigation. I want to thank the team behind me. This is the Homicide Task Force team that we've put together. thank them and thank their families for being so understanding for the many nights they've worked away from their families, away from their children. There are many dates in a lifetime that you're going to remember. The date your children are born, the date you're married, the date you buy a first house, the date Abby and Libby went missing. One of those dates was last Friday, October 28, 2022. At that time, we had gathered evidence to formulate a PC that we submitted to the court, and the judge did find probable cause for an arrest of Richard Allen. He's been charged with 2 counts of murder for the murder of Abigail Williams and Liberty German. This investigation is still very ongoing. We're keeping the tip line open, the tip email open. We encourage everybody to continue to call in tips, not only about Richard Allen, but about any other person that you may have. For that reason and for the nature of this case, the probable cause and the charging information has been sealed by the court. I've been very clear to everybody that per the court order, we cannot talk about the evidence that's in the probable cause or the evidence that's in the charging information. That will become evident to you at some point and it'll be released, but right now is not that day. Today's about Abby and Libby, focusing on them. Mr. Allen has had his initial hearing. He's entered a preliminary plea of not guilty. The matter's been set for a pretrial on January 13th at 9 a.m., 2023, and a trial date of March 20th, 2023 at 9 a.m. He is presumed innocent. We will have our opportunity and day in court when we can present the evidence that we have against him. But until that day, he is presumed innocent. I want to open it up to a few limited questions from the audience. But again, keep in mind, we are not going to talk about the evidence that we have in this case or about the charging information. We cannot. Those things have been sealed by the court. And so I want to open up a few questions.
Prosecutor, when did Richard Allen become a suspect? And do you think he acted alone?
Again, that's part of the investigation, so I'm not going to talk about those things. What I can say is that we have probable cause established by the court for his arrest, and he is in custody. He's being held currently without bond.
How long has he been a suspect?
I'm sorry? Again, that gets into the evidence we have of the investigation, and I know from everybody it's frustrating. I know everybody, not only reporters, but the family, everybody wants to know more information. I understand it's frustrating, but my goal is to maintain the integrity of this case.
How long the family Superintendent Carter, you had said that you believe that you had spoken to the suspect or the suspect's family 2 years ago. Is this man one of those people?
Again, I appreciate the question, but we're getting into the timeline of events, and today's not the time to do that.
Can you talk about how rare it is?
Family, I know you've had a lot of conversations with them. You were almost in tears pretty much when you started off this press conference. Can't imagine how emotional it is for everybody that's worked on this case. What was your conversation first like with the family, Matt, when you were able to tell them you finally got the suspect?
It was a very personal moment for me, and I think it was a very personal moment for them, for all of us that have had interaction with the family. We developed a relationship that I think is going to last at least one lifetime, and maybe a second. So it was a very, very, very sad yet a very humbling experience.
Superintendent, you asked for tips, you prepared the work, there was a reward for $325,000. Did this all come together to make this nexus? Is that the combination of all three things that led us to this day, or is it one or the other?
Well, eventually you'll be able to see what led us to this day, but again, today's not that day. To include the reward, you mentioned that, Raphael, about the reward itself, and again, very premature for us to talk about that. There's still a tremendous amount of work to do.
What would you say that Abby and Libby have taught you in depth that we can remain to continue on with?
I think probably resilience and understanding the value of each and every day. That today was the day, but I didn't anticipate they ever thought today would be their day. And I feel like I've known them for a long time. Excuse me?
Do you assume there's any other individuals involved in this case?
We haven't closed the door on the investigation. And so that's why we keep the tip line and the tip email open. And so We're not presuming anything at this point, but we're going to continue to take tips, continue to take any information anybody has. And as we've done with all the information we've gathered, we're going to look at that and examine that and see where it leads us.
You've asked the court based on this investigation that these documents should be made out of the public view. Can you explain, without getting into the details of what's in the documents, but this is not regular, usually a public hearing is held, we should be able to see all the documents, right?
Sure,
But
sure.
you made a decision. Can you explain your decision as to why you believe that maybe for the next 30 days, no one in this room should have access to those records?
Sure. It is unusual. We don't do it very often in all the cases that we handle here in Carroll County. We did it in this case because the investigation is still open. And while all cases are important, the nature of this case has some extra scrutiny with it. And so my office, felt it was important to seal those records. There will be a public hearing on whether or not those records are going to remain sealed or not. There'll be public notice for that hearing so that everyone can attend, but there will be a hearing to determine whether or not they're going to stay sealed. But for now, to me, it's about protecting the integrity of this case. I want to have an opportunity at some point to have an opportunity in court to explain the evidence and for that not to be tarnished or tainted or anything like that. Again, he's presumed innocent. And so it was important for me in this case to do that. Hold on just a minute. We're not going to comment on that right now as part of the investigation. Again, we just encourage everybody to continue to call in tips if they have them about anybody, and we'll examine those tips. That's a hard question to answer. It's a mixed emotions. I've been watching the news all weekend like everybody else has, and I think a lot of the members of the public said it right. It's bittersweet. It's a step in the right direction. It's concerning that he's a local guy. So I think just different emotions. Again, this is a step in the right direction. This is the first step into getting into court and having a trial. And so.
All right. That concludes our press conference today. Shortly, I will be releasing a press release that will have his photo and a couple more details that'll also be here for handout. That'll also be on the Indiana State Police Lafayette Post Facebook page. Right after this press conference, I'm going to send it out. There's also hard documents in the back. Thank you all for taking the time to be here today, and be safe as you travel home.
Well, that was abruptly ended. Okay, so that is it, you guys. Not wanting to answer many questions. I feel like when the press started getting a little anxious there, that's when they decided they were going to end it. But I mean, it's understandable. They don't want to talk about anything that's still being looked at or anything like that. The probable cause affidavit. Would we like to see it? Absolutely. But if it's going to get this case through the courts quickly, efficiently, and justice is going to be served by holding that under seal, so be it. Hold it under seal. We don't want this to turn into the Barry Morphew case or the Lori and Chad Daybell case where it's been dragging on for forever. So if it means, do I want to see that probable cause? Yes, I do. It's been a long time coming, and I'm sure you guys are all interested too on what led them to him, how that came about. You know, we want all those answers. He's being held without bond, so that says something right there. He's charged in the death of both Abby and Libby. It's a little bit more information than what we knew. We knew that he had been arrested in connection with their disappearance and their deaths, but we didn't know that he was actually being looked at as the one who did it. So we do know that now. How that came about, how it transpired, did somebody rat him out? Did somebody come forward with information? Was somebody else there? We don't know. Like I said, all that information would be in the probable cause affidavit, but right now it's under seal. And like I said, I'm going to reiterate it again. As long as this means a speedy trial, not drawn out, then I'm fine with not seeing that affidavit right now, the probable cause affidavit. I just want this guy to pay for what he did to these two innocent girls. Yeah, and they did say he is not cooperating at all. So he's probably lawyered up by now. He has been moved from Carroll County into a state facility for his own protection. I would assume that there would be a lot of people wanting a piece of him. Murray Michael says his wife and daughter could be in a complete and total stage of denial. Well, there's no denying, like I said before, to see that picture of him on the bridge, to hear his voice. If that was my husband, I would know right away. I've also seen, now it's not verified yet, you guys, but I've also seen things that are floating around that his wife has posted. I don't want to be part of that, attacking the wife and daughter and stuff like that. So I don't think I want to post that, but I have seen things that she has apparently posted, saying basically that he was verbally, right now, from what I see, very verbally abusive towards her. Let me just see if I can pull up that one. Oh, is it over here? Hang on. Let me just get rid of that one. Let me just see here, you guys. I just seen it, so. Let me just see if I can find it again here. Just say exactly what it was she posted. It was concerning. It's a picture of Richard and his wife on a hike of some kind. Let me just see if I can find it and I'll show you guys. There's so much. It's like taking over now, so. I'm not ignoring you guys. I'm just, yeah, a lot of people want a piece of him. Let me just find that. There's another one going around where they're on a, what do you call that, gondola or whatever they call it, where they're on this thing that brings them down the mountain or up the mountain. And he says, watch out for the cable snap. Oh, they were on a sky lift. Okay, so hang on. That's not what I wanted to find. It seemed like he was trying to scare her while they were on that lift. I listened to the clip. Also, there's something else going around that they think that the Delphi murders could be possibly linked to an identical case in Iowa. I'm just trying to find that post that she put. I know that they're on a hike. Where is it? Come on. I just seen this morning, you guys. Okay, let me just. It's peeving me off now. Hang on. Oh, is that it? Nope. Hang on. So there's somebody that's posting a lot of crap, you guys. Somebody, I guess, and we have one in every case, somebody that's going by the name of Anonymous. He says, this Anonymous, whether it's a he or she, I don't know. But it says, just because there was a video of Richard on the train tracks doesn't mean he did it. The cops are smart enough to know this and have probably interrogated him already. It was a dead end. Either that or he has connections. It was probably someone from out of town. Who knows, though? And that was posted the 23rd of February, 2020. So there's things like that that are coming out of the woodwork. Okay, here it is right here. Let me just share my screen. This is what I seen. My husband said I looked pitiful. So here he is. This is his wife. They're on some kind of hike. Richard Allen and wife Kathy hike 5 miles. And she says, my husband said I looked pitiful. And like, they're pretty high up. Can you imagine him pushing her off there? So it's stuff like that that I'm coming across now. So like, is she now ready to turn on him? It's like, oh, sorry, you guys, my screen just flashed. And here's another. There's so much that's being shared now. It's like it's eerily similar. You know what I mean? But there's just so much that's coming out of the woodwork now. Regarding him. Here's the one that I was trying to find. Let me show that again. This is the one that I was showing you when he's at the bar with his wife. There's also in the picture, there's another guy standing over here. But here's the wanted poster behind him for the Delphi murders. Like, how cocky is that? Okay, so what's this? Lots of just them saying that he's not cooperating. Here's another one, you guys. It looks really different to me. This is apparently his booking photo. He's grown his beard right down. But if you see pictures of him back in 2017 and 2018, he was short. He kept it short. And now he's grown this out. I agree. Okay, what's this? Give me a second here, you guys. I want to find out. Lady D, I only want facts, not misinformation. Who are you speaking about? Lady D. Who do you find is giving misinformation? I don't know what you mean by that. I'm trying to scroll back to see if there was anything said, but I'd like to know what you mean by that. Yeah, I'm wondering the same thing, because his car, there was another video where they showed the GPS or whatever where Keegan Klein had gone, and it was kind of near this guy's place. Okay, the public in general. Yeah, well, I'm all about facts, Lady D, but I'm just going over, showing some photos that are out there. And his wife actually did say that on her Facebook, so it's not misinformation. And Richard's home is 3.3 miles from the Monahan High Bridge. 3.3 miles. So it's like, there's no way that I wouldn't know that that was my husband. So here's like another photo of him, you guys. And it looks like he was constantly changing up his appearance. See how it's short here again? It's like he's constantly, he obviously shaves his head now. Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you, Lady D. Constantly changing his appearance over the last 5 years, you know? So it's like, I'm looking at this, you guys. Like, look at his eyes. Like, it's like fixated, dead set. Like, just like, you know, is this something that you would have looked at this guy before we knew that he was arrested and everything? Is this a guy that you would have looked in his face and say, oh, that guy's normal? I don't know. It's hard for me to say without bias now, because I know that he's been arrested now for Abby and Libby's murders. I don't know. I just can't say. Could I have, before this, could I have looked at this guy in the eyes and said, oh, this guy's normal? Now, looking at him and looking at those eyes, it's like creepy, eerily creepy. Okay, Mary Michael, you take care, hon. Here is a photo of him that they got in the cop car, I guess, when he was arrested. Again, looks even shorter here. And his hair looks like it's grown in a bit. So, I mean, there's so many different photos of him that have changed over time. Okay, so this was just, oh, I can't even read that. It's too small. I'm just looking at this, you guys, to see if it's worth downloading it and blowing it up so you guys can see it. This is just the paper form that they released 4 minutes ago. It just says, after an extensive investigation, the Delphi Homicide Task Force made an arrest. They go on to say on February 13th, Abigail and Liberty were tragically murdered. And then on Wednesday, October 26th, detectives with the Delphi Double Homicide Task Force took Richard Allen, 50, from Delphi, Indiana, into custody at the State Police Lafayette post for the murders of Abigail and Libby. Allen was transported to Carroll County Jail and then transferred. October 28th, he was formally charged 2 counts of murder and transported to the White County Jail, where he is currently being held without bond. And they're just thanking the investigators who were involved. See, here's another one. Now that I'm not looking for it, you guys, I'm finding them all over. It's like now I'm finding these pictures all over. I was looking for this earlier. Look at the smile on his face with the wanted poster right behind. You know, so it's like, wow. Okay, so this is what I was talking about, you guys. And this is from Courtney Spinelli. She's a reporter. Right here. This is the poster that was all over Delphi. There's this one here, which I feel looks more like him. There's another sketch too that looks a lot more like him. But this was plastered all over. $225,000 reward. Right? I agree, Rosie. Especially his wife. You know what I mean? Like, it's just odd to me. How could they not have put this together? Especially his wife, knowing what kind of clothes he has. People probably in that town seen him in these jackets and possibly his outfit. You know what I mean? His wife would definitely know that that was him. I don't see how she could not. They lived Richard Allen lived 3.3 miles from the bridge. So somebody what is this? So somebody is accusing another guy of being involved, and he's going off on, I believe it's Facebook. And he says he's not, obviously, wherever this is coming from is complete BS. He says, I'm not connected in any way with Richard Allen. I do not know him, and I was not involved in the Delphi murders. So with that being said, I will be going to Carroll County Police Department. So apparently somebody is putting around, I'm not going to give the guy's name because I'm not going to be part of that, falsely accusing somebody else. But apparently it's going around that this guy, Craig, I'm not going to say his last name, people are accusing him of being connected to this case and being involved. And that's why I don't get involved with this stuff, you guys, because innocent people are drawn into it when they shouldn't be. This could be, somebody who has a name that is close to somebody related to Richard Allen, but is not, because obviously, as stated, he doesn't even know Richard Allen. But this stuff goes, now they need somebody else. Now that Craig Allen is arrested and in jail, Now they need somebody else to go on a witch hunt and try to connect to him and whatnot. And that's what I don't agree with. You know what I mean? Okay, so this is the one, you guys, that I was saying, and I posted it. It's me that posted it, and this is on my Twitter. This is the one that I had said looks like so much. What do you guys think with this picture here? What do you guys think? Does that not look like smack on? Okay, well, now they're going after this guy with the name Craig, that they're trying to say it's him, that he was involved. And this poor guy is not even involved. But what do you guys think about this picture? Like, doesn't that look like him? Yeah. Totally. And I posted this. I posted this October 28th on my Twitter. I knew I'd found it somewhere. But yeah. And here is a better photo, you guys. And this is what I mean. See this photo? If that was your husband, would you not know? Like, you can pretty much see the clothing pretty good there. The hat, the clothing, the face, a little blurry on the face. But then you hear his voice. And it looks like these jeans, like it looks like he's got his hand in a pocket here. Maybe this is a pouch that he's wearing or something. The jeans, even the shoes. This is a little pixelated. There's better pictures out there on the flyers. If that was your husband, would you not know? Is that not clear enough for you to say, that's not my husband or that's my husband? You know what I mean? If this was your husband, you know exactly what your husband owns, what he wears, how he walks, his voice. Would you not have known that was your husband? If that's your husband? And if that's not your husband, if I just say, Lady D, I got a picture. I got a picture of your husband. What would you say to me right now if I showed you this picture and said, I got a picture of your husband? You would tell me, sorry, Willow, that's not my husband, right? In the same aspect, if that was your husband, you would say, oh my God, my husband has that hat. My husband has that jacket. That looks like my husband. And then to hear his voice, right? Like, I don't know. Is it me being critical? I don't think so. I would 100, with that picture I just showed you, 100% tell you if that's my husband or not. And now that I'm seeing it bigger over here, it looks like he's got a satchel or something on the side of him. So even a more dead giveaway. A little brown satchel, jeans, those dark shoes, the hat, the coat with the gray hoodie. Come on. Yes. I would know. I could tell you that's not my husband, and I could probably tell you that was my husband. Especially being together for the amount of years that she's been with him. Right? So I'm going to have to get this written down. Okay, so the trial date has been set for March 20th, 2023. There's a pre-trial. I believe they said, what did they say, you guys? Do you guys remember? Was it February? January or February? There's a pretrial. He's already pled not guilty. So he must have disposed of those clothes, Ken says, afterwards. The blue jacket was seen before the murders, but no photos of it after. I don't know, Rosie, if it was the same jacket he had on in the car. I don't know. We can't tell by the photo of him in that car whether that was the exact same jacket or not. The 13th of January. Thank you. So pretrial set for the 13th of January. I don't know if we're going to get... thank you, Rosie. You're always on top of things. I don't know if we're going to get the probable cause affidavit, you guys. And honestly, we've seen what happened in the other cases when that has been released. So if this means a speedy trial, that they're going to have him at trial March 20th, I'll wait. Hopefully we can broadcast it. Let me see what else here. So I don't think anything else is going to come out, you guys. So apparently the big buzz now on Twitter and Facebook and everything is that Don Wells is out of jail. Yes, he's been released. Bonded out. Apparently, for those of you who really care, apparently there's now an Amazon page for baby stuff to be sent to Billy Joe. And keep in mind that there's no kids in that home. The kids were all removed. There was things that were being said. I just want to touch on this a little bit. Not a lot of men wear a fanny pack. Yeah. Also, you guys, like, I'm not going to get into all the drama about it, though, but with the Quentin Simon case, there's no other children in that home. CPS came and took them all out of that home. And I got snippets from so many emails. Check out this. What do you think this means? So I'm going to address it. There was a lot of talk. Oh, that we're not going to mention what she needs, but we'll say baby stuff. And baby stuff to me, are they talking about bottles, baby bottles? They're using a code word, baby stuff. And everybody's asking me, Willow, what's your take on that? What's your take on that? What do you think that is? I think that means they want them to go to the liquor store and get them bottles. That's what I think that means, because they can't go out. Anywhere they go, anytime they go out of that house, they're followed. So when they say we're going to use the code word baby stuff, they need baby stuff. I think it's bottles. And it's not bottles of formula because there's no kids in the house. So that's my take, and it's only my opinion. Only my opinion, because I'm getting so many emails asking me what I think that code word is for. And that's exactly what I think it is for. I think it's a code word for they need alcohol. I could be wrong, but That's my take on it. Like, what else could you need baby stuff other than bottles? Like, I racked my brain with it. It's like the only thing that ever came to mind was baby bottles. So they need bottles. They can't go to the liquor store themselves. They can't go here. They can't go there. People are ordering them food. All kinds of crazy stuff going on over there. So I think it's like, yeah, bring us alcohol. So the Debbie Collier case, you guys, apparently the son is asking the sheriff to step down. I don't think he believes that it was a suicide with his mom. Okay, so these are both at 9 a.m. His trial starts at 9 a.m. and his pre-trial is on January 13th at 9 a.m. I'm just getting the updates on that now, you guys. I'm giving you guys updates as I'm getting them here. I'm only there's a lot of stuff here that I could be telling you guys that is being sent to me, but it's not verified, so I'm not going to pass it along. Okay, I do have an email here from somebody that I cannot mention. I told you guys why. Regarding the Quentin Simon. Just let me see what information is here that I can pass on to you guys. They're still at the landfill, you guys. They are still going to go through. They have an area of concern at that landfill. And, okay, how can I put this? They have an area where everybody knows about the dumpster thing. They have an area cordoned off where that dumpster would have been dumped. And until they get through it all, they're not going to quit. Whether they believe that Quentin is in there or not is still debatable. But what they are looking for is any evidence in the missing person case of Quentin. That's about as best I can say it without saying the rest of what I've got here. So whether it be evidence, whether it be, like a blanket or as something else that could have very well been discarded when Leilani was caught dumping something into that dumpster. That's what they could be looking for, or they could be looking for his remains. Okay. They're not willing to say absolutely he's in that landfill. I'm going to say that much. Okay. Okay, how can I put this? I'm going to tell you that Danny did not pass a lie detector. He didn't take one. So whoever is putting around that information that he passed a polygraph, that it's not true. And I'm not saying that he refused one or whatever. I'm just saying that there was no polygraph. He did not take a polygraph. I don't know if he was even asked to take a polygraph. So whoever's saying that he passed a polygraph, that's not true at all. He's also not where they think he is. And believe me, that they are being watched, you guys. They know exactly where Danny is and where Leilani is. Also, there was information given that Danny told one of the family members in that house, in Alani's house, Billy Joe's house, that he held the answers to everything. And I don't think I could share much more of this with you, you guys. There's going to be some surprises that's going to come out regarding this case, you guys. Mark my words on that. Okay, let me just get out of here because I don't want to slip something that I shouldn't. Yes, I hope we get to see it too. I'm just thankful that Abby and Libby are finally going to have justice. Yes, my heart is broken over that too. And there's going to be a lot of things come out, you guys, that you're going to be shocked. Yeah, that's really bothered me too, Ken. I'm just going back through some of the comments, you guys. With the Chad Daybell, Lori Vallow case, Lori's it hasn't been stayed yet, but it has been put on hold. I think she's getting evaluated inside the jail itself. She hasn't been sent to the state hospital. She's still at the jail. But I think there's been I think they got to adjust her meds or something along those lines. That's as of the last time I checked yesterday, or Friday, because yesterday was Sunday, so nothing would have changed anyway. But as of Friday, she was still there. As far as Chad, his has been continued. So the trial is not going to start for either one of them on January 9th as planned. We don't have a date yet for when Chad's has been continued to. But there is a hearing coming up for Chad. Let me just give you the date for that. The pretrial was supposed to start on November 9th, so that is now vacated because the trial is not starting in January. And there's a motion to sever to be heard on the 10th of November. So the 9th was supposed to be pretrial, and that is no longer going to happen because the trial is not happening on January 9th. Now, what's concerning to me is that the trial now, Lori did not give up her right to a speedy trial. She wanted her trial within the 90 days, okay? Which would have brought her, she would have been in trial right now. It probably would have been wrapping up. But they said because it was only 30, 60 days out from the end of the time for speedy trial, that it shouldn't be an issue for her to wait until January. And it gave her lawyers a little bit more time. So that's how they mulled over that to keep this case joined. But now that Chad has got a continuance, the prosecution is doing everything possible to keep these trials joined. They went even to the point of asking for a stay in Chad's case until this is resolved with Lori. They didn't say that, but they did say they wanted a stay, and the judge refused. So when they did go their last court date, he did get a continuance, which means he's not going to trial January 9th. And if Lori comes back in the next few days and says, I'm ready to go, and she wants to continue going January 9th, there's going to be another problem, right? They haven't agreed. Lori's side has not agreed to continue the trial. Right now, her trial is put on hold. That's not a continuance. That's not a stay. So this is, it's a three-ring circus, you guys, between the prosecution and both defense teams. It's a three-ring circus. Yes, happy Halloween, everybody. Yeah, I do believe that with the Richard Allen, I don't think it's his first rodeo. I think he's going to be linked to other cases. That is just my gut instinct. I do think that he will be linked to other cases. Well, happy All Saints Day, Rosie. Summer Dawn says, said it for years, but man, I'd love to just climb in your head, Willow, because I know you know the goods and I respect the hell. Well, thank you, Summer. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. And yes, like I've been asked to not mention who the law enforcement officer is that I have been talking to, who's been keeping me updated. But there's also two others, you guys, that I don't even know if they know about each other, if they know that they're all talking to me. I don't know. But what I do know is I made a promise and I'm going to keep that promise. So are you talking about the Lori and Chad Daybell? Oh, crap, you guys. They mistakenly put something up in the filings that was supposed to be sealed, and I've got it. Where it explains why they want Rob Wood off the case. And I was supposed to go over it, but then I ended up sick for that 3-week period there. I'll have to go through my stuff and find that, you guys. But I have, they reposted it, but now it's redacted. I've got the unredacted one. I don't know if I should put that out, though. But they accused him of a lot of things, you guys. It was wild. And there's something that Rob Wood had been involved in that they brought up. I don't know if I should put that out, because it could hurt the case. That's one thing that's concerning to me. Maybe that's why I didn't do it. I don't know. I'm not that person. You know what I mean? Maybe I'll ask, get some advice on that from law enforcement before. I just don't know. There has been talk about that stay-at-home mom. Summer Dawn. I'm so excited that Ellie is starting to open their minds. I think that, well, the 3 that I'm talking to are very open-minded. And I know one of them is a subscriber to my channel and has been for a long time. I don't think it's not that they're open-minded about it. I do really think it's because of the backlash that they get from the people that call us devil worshippers, and it's unethical to rely on what a card reader or medium says, or, you know, it's the backlash, and it kind of then takes away from their investigation. So I get it, and I do understand, but the 3 that I have been talking to are very open-minded. And like I said, I know at least one of them are a subscriber here. And they've been very polite. They've been very engaging. And 2 have said that I'm 100% on the mark. The other one has said, they haven't said you're 100%, like 100%, you're spot on. But the 3rd one said, it's very interesting what came out in those reads because it hasn't been released. So what that means, I don't know. So there's stuff that's come out in there, I guess, that they know, but hasn't been released to the public. So it makes me, it makes me feel good knowing that, you know, the haters can come and say whatever they want. It doesn't fizz me because I know what I do. And I do it for the better good. Am I wrong sometimes? Absolutely. Can I be off a bit? Especially when it comes to areas? Absolutely. But generally, I can put up 4 or 5 cases right now that I've given areas on, and I'm within half a mile. Right? So they can say what they want. I don't care. You know what I do? I don't even respond anymore. I just block them. I just block them. I didn't force them to come here. I didn't force them to come and check out my reads. You know what you were clicking on when you clicked on it. So piss off. You know what I mean? Like, have a good life. Sorry that you're going through a midlife crisis or whatever you're going through, that you felt the need to come and say some nasty stuff. I pray for you. That's what I say to myself. I don't even say it to them anymore. I've got 2 now, not just 1. I am proud to say I have 2 haters. Every one of my videos, doesn't matter whether the video hasn't even started yet. If it's like something like this where I put up like tomorrow I'll be going live, so here's the thumbnail, set your notifications. I've already got 2 dislikes. And they're the same 2. Every video, 2 dislikes. 2 dislikes. So it's like I've got 2 haters. I wish they'd make themselves known because I would give them some credit. You know, maybe they're going through a hard time in life. We don't know what they're going through, right? We don't know what they're going through, and it's more of a reflection on them and the hate that they have in their heart than anything that they could ever say about what I do. So well, thank you, Mystery LE person, for subscribing. And when you say something in your reads, I listen because you're right as rain. Not always right, Summer. I do get some things wrong, but the general around it. And like I said, like sometimes it doesn't even make sense to me what's coming out, but it's not supposed to make sense to me because I don't know everything, right? Like I don't know what's going on. So for, you know, anybody that's involved in a case to say you're spot on, it's just not out there yet, is, you know, it makes me feel good. Like, thank you. Thank you for that recognition. So, but have I been wrong? Yes, I've been wrong. I'll be first to say it. I'm not perfect. Nobody is. So, to each their own. You either like it or you don't. You either like me or you don't. There's never an in-between. And I'm okay with that. Yeah, the cards don't lie. Sometimes I don't get what the cards are saying because it's not making sense to me with what I'm being shown and what I'm seeing in the card. There's a lot of collision sometimes there. So do I sometimes take what I think it's trying to tell me over what my ancestors say? No, 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 no. So there's a collision sometimes there. And I have to go with my gut at that point and my intuition. I have to. So sometimes, yes, it's there in the cards right in front of you, as you guys see, but it's not what I'm saying because there's a clash. My ancestors are saying one thing, my intuition seeing, and what the card is telling me is something else. So there's an in between there. What do I go with? You know what I mean? And I should actually, and I pray for my ancestors and I praise them all the time. I got to start listening more to them, even if it sounds off the wall, because they're the ones that know. You know what I mean? So I got to put my ego aside a little bit when it comes to my ancestors and trust them that they're telling me what I need to say. That's what I got to do more of. And as a reader, it's hard sometimes to put aside your personal feeling or intuition when you're getting something and listen just to your ancestors. Because sometimes what they show me, it's hard to decipher how that's applying to the situation that I'm reading. So sometimes, yes, sometimes I get it wrong. My ancestors don't. They always already know. It's my interpretation of what they're telling me is where I'm getting things wrong. They're on the other side. And the same as you guys. And when your loved ones and friends and family cross over, they see everything. Everything. Right? So it's like, yeah, for somebody like me who reads and relies so much on my ancestors, I got to start listening to them more, incorporating my intuition with what they're telling me more, and maybe slowing down a little bit more and seeing if they give me some expansion on what they're showing me so I get it right. It's a learning process, you guys. I've been doing this for many years and I learn something new every day. Every day. Yeah. And it's like, so you guys gotta think when I'm doing a read, it's like I'm very highly intuitive. So when I'm getting things and I'm asking my ancestors, what am I seeing? What am I supposed to see here? And they show me, and they don't show me who I'm reading. They show me a flash of something that's either happened in their life or mine, or that I've witnessed or stuff like that. Now I've got to put that together with what I'm getting with the cards. That's where sometimes I get it wrong. Is it, like, I don't know how to explain it, you guys. It's so hard to explain. If they show me a flash of something that's happened that I know has happened, that I've either seen or been part of, or something that I know they've done, and I'm getting this in front of me on a case, how is that lining up with what I'm getting in front of me? That's where I got to put it together. And sometimes I go too quickly and take the first thing that I see instead of really looking at it. So that's my bad. I got to start slowing down when something isn't quite clicking for me. I've got to slow down and spend a little bit, maybe more time on that specific card and get what they are showing me. Maybe ask them to show me something else to help me link it a little better, so my reads get more on point than what they are. Like, everybody always wants to improve. Doesn't matter what you do for a living, what you do for fun, you always want to try and do better than what you did the last time, right? And that's no different from us. We're not perfect. And any reader or psychic or medium that says that they are, they're lying. They're lying. You learn every day. And if you're not, then you become at a standstill and you become, I call it waterlogged. You know what I mean? And that's why I say Even though there are a couple tarot decks that I do use now, and I use them quite often now, I go with what I get, not necessarily what is written for what that card means. And tarot is very like the Six of Cups means this, the Seven of Cups means this. I go by what I'm getting from that card. Okay. And that's why I really didn't get a lot into tarot, because they were specific meaning. The oracle is more objective. You know what I mean? So, and my ancestor deck is just there. That's my number one. So with that being said, you guys, I'm going to wrap this up, let you guys get back to what you got to do today. If anything else does pop off, I will be jumping back on and bringing that to you. I know a lot of people are asking about the Don Wells case, what's going on there. Where is he? What was he up to? As far as I know, he is back at Ben Hill Road. That's as far as I know. Are they going to stay there? I don't know. I don't know. So until I have verified information with that, I'm not going to speak on it. Yeah, life is one big lesson, Rosie. You are 100% correct. And you can't stay stagnant. You know what I mean? Like, what happens with stagnant water? It starts to stink. It starts building mold and moss and whatnot. You don't want to get to that point where you just don't want to go forward and learn more and, you know, be open to that, because you become stagnant. So I love learning. I like learning at least one thing new a day, whether I'm reading, whether it's in my readings, whether it's in personal life, whether it's in fun. I like to learn at least one thing new every day. Do I remember it? Not since I hit 50. My memory started going. Short-term memory. Ask me something from 30 years ago. I'll tell you play by play. So I do. I like learning new things all the time. And it keeps you on your toes. You know what I mean? So with that being said, you guys, thank you for watching with me this morning. Thank you for your support. Mods, you guys are excellent. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, and triple check. I know here in Canada, we've been getting a lot of warnings to watch for edibles that I don't know how they've got the information, but there was information that was put out that people were going to be handing out edibles to kids in their candy. So the police are saying, watch out for that. So, okay, so I'm going to get off here. I'm going to give Des a call and see how Bailey is doing. She's still in the burn unit. So I want to see how that's going, how she's doing. So everybody say some prayers for Des's daughter, Bailey. She got a pretty bad burn on her hand. The back of her hand the skin was all hanging off. Her stomach was badly burned. She's in the burn unit in the hospital, Children's Hospital burn unit in ICU. So let's say some prayers for her. She was doing really good last night. We're waiting on news this morning to see if one area that they are very concerned about has gotten better. Edibles for marijuana edibles, THC or CHC or something like that, edibles. So yeah, watch out for that. THC gummies, there's cookies, there's brownies, there's chocolate, there's everything. So THC, that's what it is. Okay, so with that being said, you guys, please take care of yourselves. Please stay safe. Love you guys to the moon and back.